According to LinkedIn, the skills that are in the highest demand are communication, management, Microsoft Office, customer service, sales, leadership, operations, English language, planning, and marketing. The English language. Did you know that hiring managers have changed what they focus on when interviewing candidates for a job? I'll share the insider secrets on how you can nail your next interview by knowing how to respond, by knowing what the interviewer is thinking. We didn't used to know what the interviewer was thinking, and now we do. Have you had any bad experiences interviewing in English? I had a client come to me for that very reason. She really felt as though she failed in an interview. Her English was pretty good, but when she had to talk about herself in English, she just lost her confidence and she wasn't sure what to say. And she was really terrified. And that was the word that she used. And she could have avoided that terrifying feeling if she had just known what she needed to prepare. If she had known what the interviewer had in mind, she could have prepared. She would have known what to say. So now this is your chance to really know what the interviewer is thinking. LinkedIn did a survey recently. I just received it the other day, and they surveyed almost 1,300 hiring managers and asked them what's important to them. Hiring managers these days are just as interested, if not more so, in who you are as they are in what you've done. It used to be that they were interested in your experience, and that was it. Things have changed. The data from the survey gives us direct insight into the minds of the hiring managers. So you don't have to wonder anymore what they're looking for. You'll know how to prepare for it. You'll know how to really ace the interview, as they say. You'll know what they look at when they are assessing the potential of each candidate. Yes, I say candidate. Some people say candidate. I say candidate. I'm going to share with you the questions that the interviewers are asking candidates these days. And I'm also going to let you know the exact advice that LinkedIn is giving to the business owners and hiring managers to help them to hire the best person for the job. That's right. Not only is LinkedIn listing the most important soft skills for a candidate to embody, but it's also telling the hiring managers what they should listen for as candidates speak about themselves. You'll know the hiring manager's thought process, and that will help you to prepare for your next interview in a way that will surpass any interview experience that you've ever had. Things have changed, and this is what you need to know. Soft skills are not new. They've been around since the 70s, and they become so important that some people are now calling them power skills. They aren't new, but the 30 behavioral interview questions that hiring managers are using for the soft skills are new, and they're just in from this survey. And this is what they are. These are the top 6 soft skills or power skills. I'll call them soft skills because that's what LinkedIn is calling them. I'll mention each one and then I'll go through the questions for each one. There are 6 soft skills that we're focusing on, and then there are 5 questions for each of the soft skills that the hiring managers are asking. So the first one is adaptability. The second soft skill that hiring managers are focused on is culture add. The third soft skill that hiring managers are looking at is collaboration. The fourth soft skill is leadership. The fifth soft skill is growth potential. And the sixth soft skill is prioritization. I'll say that again, prioritization. Adaptability is essential for employees. Employees who are adaptable are more likely to achieve better outcomes and as priorities shift or they may have setbacks. So the first question that the hiring managers are asking to assess how adaptable you are is this. Tell me about a time you were asked to do something that you had never done before. How did you react? And what did you learn? And this is what LinkedIn is suggesting that the hiring managers listen for as you talk. Listen for excitement and tackling new challenges and a willingness to leave your comfort zone. The more willing you are to leave your comfort zone and try new things and adapt to the situation, the more they like that. And the better you look as a candidate for the job. The second question that hiring managers are asking to assess your adaptability is describe a situation in which you embraced a new system, process, technology, or idea at work that was a major departure from the old way of doing things. And LinkedIn is suggesting that the hiring managers listen for eagerness to explore new ways of working and ways to improve based on what you've learned. How open are you to embracing new ways of doing things? That's a big part of adaptability, and that's what they're looking for. The third question to assess your adaptability is recall a time when you were assigned a task outside of your job description. How did you handle the situation and what was the outcome? And the hiring managers are listening for your understanding that your job may evolve and your willingness to try something new and take the necessary steps to ensure that you're successful. Keeping an open mind. The fourth question that hiring managers are asking to assess your adaptability is, tell me about the biggest change you've had to deal with. How did you adapt to that change? And the hiring manager is listening for your acceptance that change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. That's one thing that we can count on in life, is that everything will change. And some people deal with that more easily than others. So how easy is it for you to deal with the fact that change is inevitable? And the fifth question that hiring managers are asking to assess your adaptability is, tell me about a time when you had to adjust to a colleague's working style in order to complete a project or achieve your outcome. They want to know how adaptable you are and how willing you are to be flexible when it's required, when you're working with somebody else. And that's what LinkedIn is suggesting that they listen to. They're listening for your ability to adapt, to be flexible, and then to look at what you've done and see how you feel about that. Both good and bad experiences. Soft skill number 2 that hiring managers are focused on these days is called culture add. It used to be that the hiring managers were interested in bringing people into the culture that were a good fit for the culture. They got along, they were similar to the other people that were there, but things have changed. Now they're looking at culture add. They want to see what a new candidate is able to add to the culture that may be different or interesting or has a different viewpoint. And doing this brings new perspectives and it reduces hiring bias. A bias is their tendency to hire the same type of person over and over again. And these are the questions that the hiring managers are asking to assess you for culture add. The first question is, what are the 3 things that are most important to you in a job? And the hiring manager listening for alignment between what's important to them and the role that they are hiring for in the company. The second question that hiring managers are asking to assess you for culture add is this. Tell me about a time in the last week when you've been satisfied, energized, and productive at work, and what were you doing? And the hiring managers are listening for indications that the work environment and day-to-day responsibilities are right for you. And question number 3, what's the most interesting thing about you that's not on your resume? And they'll be listening for signs that you'll be bringing new experience and skills to the team, even if it's unrelated to your role. They're interested in people who bring something new to the organization. Question number 4 to assess you for cultural add is this: what would make you choose our company over others? And they're listening for thoughtful, honest responses, and they can tell if you're telling them what you're really thinking, and that's what they want to hear, really. They want to get to know the real you. Question number 5 to assess you for cultural add: what's the biggest misconception your coworkers have about you, and why do you think that? They're looking for self-reflection on your part and transparency. And that means that they want to know the real you, as I said. They want to see that you are sharing the truth with them easily and openly. And you'll get along with people more easily that way. LinkedIn says that 75% is the percentage of organizations with frontline decision-making teams reflecting a diverse and inclusive culture that will exceed their financial targets. So cultural add is a big thing now. And so think about what you can add to a company that's different. Soft skill number 3 is collaboration. And when a role requires teamwork, strong collaboration skills will make you stand out. Hiring managers and bosses at companies really do prefer people who get along with others. And part of getting along with others is your willingness to collaborate with other people, to work with other people for a mutual goal. Done properly, collaboration improves productivity, efficiency, and morale. And when it's missing, it can create roadblocks and all kinds of problems for the company, and nobody's looking for that in business. Question number 1 to assess how high you are on the collaboration scale. Give an example of when you had to work with someone who was difficult to get along with. How did you handle interactions with that person? And LinkedIn is suggesting that the hiring managers listen for a willingness to try to see things from the other person's perspective by identifying the cause for the tension and finding ways to improve the relationship. And question 2, to assess how high you are on the collaboration scale. Tell me about a time when you were communicating with someone and they did not understand you. What did you do? And the hiring manager will be listening to see whether you're patient. Great collaborators take the time to be patient and to make sure they're being understood, and they're also able to adjust to the style of other people. But it is important to start by communicating as well as possible so that you can avoid misunderstandings. The third question that hiring managers are asking to assess you for collaborating is this: tell me about one of your favorite experiences working with a team and the contributions you made. And they'll be listening for your energy and motivation through teamwork. And be sure to use a good mix of I statements and we statements, because a person who is focused only on I statements will have a tendency to not collaborate as well. People who use the word we are more naturally collaborators. So be sure that you include enough we statements in your answers. Question number 4 to assess collaboration. Describe the best partner or supervisor you've worked with. What part of their management style appealed to you? And they'll be listening for an understanding of your own working style and what personalities you work best with. Question number 5 to assess your collaboration ability. Can you share an experience in which a project dramatically shifted direction at the last minute? What did you do? And the hiring manager will be listening for how well the team is aligned and how well you work when things don't go as planned. Soft skill number 4 is leadership. LinkedIn says that hiring more people who have leadership skills can help the company stay ahead of the competition, even if they're not in a leadership role. People with leadership qualities tend to be very good at inspiring others, and that's a very attractive quality to have. So they like to hire people with leadership qualities. The number one question to assess your leadership ability is this. Tell me about the last time something significant didn't go according to plan at work. What was your role and what was the outcome? And this is what the hiring manager has been advised to listen for when you speak about yourself. They're listening for a thoughtful reflection and a strong sense of ownership. True leaders don't try to shift the blame to others. Instead, they consider what they could have done differently. And question number 2 to assess your leadership skill. Describe a situation in which you needed to persuade someone to see things your way. What steps did you take and what were the results? And the hiring manager is listening for a response that establishes credibility and uses compelling evidence to reinforce your viewpoint. And that's what you should do with all of the questions, with all of your answers. Don't just give an answer. Make part of your answer proof that backs up your answer to the question. That's a big part of interviewing, and a lot of people leave that out. But hiring managers really like to hear stories or situations that prove your point. And question number 3 to assess your leadership skill. Tell me about a time when you led by example. What did you do and how did others react? And they're listening for an understanding of how your behavior impacts those around you. And strong candidates demonstrate that they hold themselves to a high standard and are an inspiration to their team. Some of these questions can be rather difficult if you have to think of an answer at the spur of the moment. In that moment, it's more stressful. So the more that you can prepare in advance, the better. And that's why I'm so happy that I'm able to provide this for you. Question number 4 to assess your leadership skills. Tell me about the toughest decision you had to make in the last 6 months. And the hiring manager is listening for a careful consideration of outcomes. They like people who are decisive, people who can make a final decision. This is the 5th question that hiring managers are asking to assess your leadership skills. Have you ever had to sell an idea to your coworkers or to a group? How did you do it and what were the results? And the hiring managers are looking for proof points. They like to hear that you are providing proof for everything that you say, and they're looking for an assertiveness about you without being pushy. According to LinkedIn, the skills that are in the highest demand are communication, management, Microsoft Office, customer service, sales, leadership, operations, English language, planning, and marketing. The English language. English is the business language of the world, and I enjoy helping people to improve their English, to make their voices heard, to advance in their careers, and to affect positive change in the world by leading with kindness. Before we move on to the 5th soft skill, my name is Rebecca Carlin. I help people with their English in general, and I also focus on helping them with their business English and using their business English to strengthen their communication skills, their leadership skills, their sales skills, and customer service skills. Being proficient in the English language will put you on a hiring manager's short list of preferred candidates. If you're interested in my help in improving your English and your business English, just go to my website, www.perfectbusinessenglish.com. The link is in the video description. I have an online course and a one-on-one coaching program. And to learn more about that, you can just go to the website and watch the short video that's on the website. I help people to improve their professionalism, their credibility, and their career success. And I'd love to help you with that. if that's what you need. For the one-on-one coaching program, we meet via Zoom. So we can be anywhere in the world. I can be here, you can be anywhere in the world, and we can still work together. I can still help you. Okay, the fifth soft skill is growth potential. And the first question that the hiring managers are asking to determine your growth potential is this. Recall a time when your manager was unavailable when a problem arose. How did you handle the situation? Who did you consult with? That's how LinkedIn said it. You could also say, with whom did you consult? Depends how formal you want to be. And this is what the hiring manager is listening for the ability to rise to the occasion without stepping on anyone's toes. They want to see that you can handle the situation. Question 2 to assess your growth potential. Describe a time when you volunteered to expand your knowledge at work without being directed to do so. And the hiring managers are listening for an eagerness to learn and a willingness to ask for resources. Great candidates invest in continuous learning and actively seek out opportunities. Question number 3 to assess your growth potential. What would motivate you to make a move from your current role? You're moving from your current role, which is why you're interviewing, but okay, this is one of the questions. And they are listening for you to be more invested in growth opportunities. So that's what they're listening for. They know that you want to leave your position, and they like to hear that the reason is so that you can continue to grow. They like to know that you enjoy being challenged. Question number 4 to assess your growth potential. When was the last time that you asked for direct feedback from a superior? And they'll be listening for regularly requested feedback. They want to know if you request feedback on a regular basis, and that's an indication that you really care about your own improvement in your current role. And if you are in your current role, you'll be more likely to be that in the next role. Question number 5 to assess your growth potential. What's the biggest career goal you've achieved? Okay, this question isn't as behavioral, it's more like the old questions that were always asked, but they still care about it. And they're listening for motivation and drive. They want to hear that you take pride in your achievements. Well, who doesn't? Well, people take pride in their achievements, but so few people are comfortable with talking about it. And we should be more comfortable talking about our achievements because they inspire others and they show confidence. And that's one of the things that you're trying to show in the interview. Soft skill number 6 is prioritization. Candidates who excel in prioritization can delegate and juggle tasks. And LinkedIn is advising hiring managers to listen for good time management and attention to detail. And this is question number 1 for assessing your prioritization skill. Tell me about a time when you had to juggle several projects at the same time. How did you organize your time? What was the result? And LinkedIn is advising the hiring manager to listen for a clear process that you have in place for organizing your time, like blocking off your calendar, creating a to-do list, and prioritizing certain tasks. Question number 2 to assess your prioritization skill. Tell me about a project that you planned. How did you organize and schedule the tasks? And LinkedIn is advising hiring managers to listen for strong self-discipline and a methodical approach. Question number 3 to assess your prioritization skill. Describe a time when you felt stressed or overwhelmed. How did you handle it? And LinkedIn is advising the hiring manager to listen to signs that you are very good at planning and prioritization, that you stay calm and relaxed during these situations, and that you're able to lighten your load by delegating tasks to other people. Question number 5 to assess your prioritization skill. How do you determine what amount of time is reasonable for a task? And the hiring managers are listening to how you spend your time. And apparently, they believe that there's a healthy middle ground between work that is sufficient and work that is perfect. They don't want you to spend too much time on something that doesn't need to be perfect. And that's it. I had been thinking about doing a video about interviewing, and I was thinking about how I should go about it when I received this information from LinkedIn, and I just knew that I had to share it with you. This is current information. Times change and hiring managers and priorities change, and now you're on the cutting edge. You know what hiring managers are thinking of now. Now you know what to do to be different and to stand out as a candidate. Now you know what hiring managers are thinking. So all you have to do now is prepare. Prepare answers to the questions that the hiring managers are looking for. Your answers will be so much better because you'll have had time to prepare. You'll be able to prepare and you'll be able to give the hiring managers exactly what they're looking for. Do you know this expression? Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Communication, the English language, and the answers to these questions are keys to success with hiring managers. So continue to improve yours, practice your answers to these questions, go after what you really want, and people will start calling you lucky. Go ahead. You can do it. I know you can, and I'm here for you. LinkedIn says that hiring more people who have leadership skills can help the company stay ahead of the competition, even if they're not in a leadership road. According to LinkedIn, the skills that are English is the business language of the world, and I enjoy people. English is the business language of the world, and I enjoy helping people to improve their English. Being in proficient. Yep. I help people to, yeah. Describe a time when you volunteered to expand your knowledge at work as opposed to being told to. Ooh. Go ahead. You can do it. I know you can, and I'm here for you.